So here's the code snippet for today. Very important to actually note here is that people who are making a custom mystery specifically, and you have more than one ending. If you are trying to branch out, first of all, the numbers are 0 equals ending A, 1 equals ending B, C equals ending 2 equals ending C, and so on and so forth. But the other side of that is that you must use ending trigger in extra win prize, not win prize A, win prize B, so on and so forth. So I think that gets the point across. If I'm wrong about that, then I guess everyone else in the modding scene is wrong about that, because I swear this is a common pitfall. Period. That's all I have to say. So, as we return to the game here, if the thumbnail doesn't, kind of little spoil or spoil in general, then all you need to know— we're not doing Eldritch Parasite, by the way. Oh, but maybe we will. You know what? We will, because I am slowly getting to completion of the mystery I want to make. It's not complete yet. I think we're like 60% of the way through, and some things might not be in it yet, but yeah, we'll save it for last, because if you want to fully immerse yourself, most of the character-specific mysteries I want to make, and I'll let you know if it's always the case, are meant to be taken last. But as we get into Yogata Eldritch Parasite custom character with their custom mystery, obviously, if you use any custom mysteries anywhere that specifically those that I make, I usually mean for you to take those character mysteries, we'll call them, last, for immersion's sake. So second encounter, strength, Takshisan, charisma, light, maybe knowledge check, but if I don't even make it to the end, I'll just do the mystery on a second demo run, just if for no other reason than to playtest, because I did a lot of playtest, and I was a bit sad. Now, the other side of that, really quickly, is that I did want to make a non-perm version, because so far, I know that I've balanced the mystery around the perm plugin, specifically because we can use custom weapons here, so shrug. But as we see Botanist, Vigil, Sailors, Coma, and then we will get to Hiroko in a moment, yeah, we'll do our best. At this point, I would like to say, just in case anyone clicks off the video and, you are you try to make custom content with World of War, let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. On top of that, I know I have not— I said I was going to put things out publicly, and I didn't because I forgot. So, I'll do my best. There's a lot I could say. I do a lot of on-off testing, which I think in a more generalized sense, but especially for World of War as well, it is important to kind of on-off test. That's not what I called it, but basically play test things as you do them, no matter how small. So if you make a variable change, play test what you have. If you add a graphic and then you link to it and you want to see what that graphic looks, or you can see what that graphic looks like, do that. Do a playtest. If you add, an item, but you're like, oh, maybe I should write make text up first and foremost. Make text first, make graphics first. No, just put the item in, call it something, and it'll appear on screen and might not function as intended, but at least you can pull it up. That way you know if you've set up text, set up the name of the thing correctly. Maybe the text kind of wraps around or goes too far because you put too many words. Please play test very, very incrementally. I don't know what the best word to say, but basically every time you add or change something, play test. A common pitfall or a common mistake I often see— it's not like a majority of the time, but I often see— is that for custom characters specifically, when they have a bunch of status effects, add one status effect and the graphic, playtest. Add the second one, playtest. If you don't want to do that, what I often do, so I even just break my own, what I just said by this, is that when you complete your character and you have all the graphics, low stamina, low reason, cursed sign, slit mouth, masks, test them one by giving a custom character each of those effects. So low stamina, low reason, you'll just do by nature of the game, so just playtest your character in general. In fact, even more specifically, just if there's no other takeaway, make a custom character and make your low stamina, low reason graphic, because those are what you will need the most likely. And then just do a full playthrough. Just do a full playthrough with your custom character with just those two things. Because if your character crashes, there could be a whole host of things wrong. Maybe you messed up the naming your house sprite or something. But yes, please do not make every other custom effect until you have your definitely before you have your custom character's main graphic down. But to go back to what I was saying before, yes, playtest everything. And then if you're the type to make every single graphic like I am, give your character the crestfallen mask, then give them hunger so that you can see what hunger looks like, then put on the mask because some status effects will be covered by masks. Then you can do that. The next playthrough, before you even load the game, so if I hold Q right here, this will reset everything. So go back to your character's Ito file, give them slit mouth, and then the some other mask, ritual mask, and then you'll see the slit mouth graphic. If anything crashes, then you know that there's something's wrong with one of those two graphics or the Ito file. So on and so forth. Repeat this until you've tested everything out. Preferably every line of code in your character's Ito file. And this again extends to other parts of custom content. Whether it's a mystery, whether it is an event, so on and so forth. When you add a graphic, when you change a variable, when you change a type of damage that the player is taking to, like, from reason to charisma, or sorry, reason to stamina, and vice versa, then playtest that event. And that's though each of those require different types of playtests. Like for events, what I like to do is just make like 10 to 12 copies, and then through the main menu screen, you can I'm just focusing on my level up, sorry. You can choose to just only have custom events turned on. So if I make a custom event in the school, I just copy paste that Ito file 12 times or something like that, and then from the main menu you can say, okay, only use custom events, then just investigate the school. You might get a few general events, that's just the nature of the beast, but you will most likely run into your event within like 3 investigations, and then you can test things out. And then since you have 12 copies, you can run into the same event over and over and over again and test different success failures. Or you could just put yourself to ill-fated. You can make it an easier stat check if you're just checking text. You get the point. I think I've given you more than enough ways to kind of playtest if you are making custom events in particular. For custom mysteries, I recommend, if you're just new to starting out with custom mysteries, just copy paste a template mystery, or just find a mystery, change a few things, and then playtest that mystery. Change more things, make an event, test that event. Maybe you haven't completed the event, that's fine. Just make sure that it doesn't crash. That way you know that you're at least linking things correctly. Because again, the more variables you add to your playtest, the more you have to guess what crashes. Because of the nature of how World of Horror handles crashes, you don't get too much information on what caused the crash. Now, those who are more knowledgeable about World of Horror in general, at least in the technical sense, might understand if you give them a code error. But again, I would wager to say like 95% of the custom content, people who make custom content for World of Horror, do not know the ins and outs of how World of Horror handles crashes and the error messages that you get, which is why when we go to, say, the Discord channel, or if something's wrong with the perm plugin, you go to Nexus Mods, where the perm plugin is, I see so many questions. Now, obviously for base content, that's more the case, but you get the point. So I'm trying to kind of clear the error. Now, I could make a formal tutorial, but I'm testing my own things here, so that's what I mean. Before this recording, there was about 30 minutes of me even just tweaking things. I did like 3 to 4 complete runs through my mystery just to make sure things worked the way they did. Whether I made a text change because I just wanted to line break some text myself. I changed something from like status to reason. I add a choice to an event, which is a bigger change, but you get the point. There's a lot of playtesting going on. By the way, painful penalty damage, but we'll deal. All things considered, we are still doing relatively well. It's just that, yeah, we are taking stamina and reason damage, and we're going to be taking more reason damage here, but I think I've done worse before. Had a cough, so I muted my microphone. We get nothing. Do we have allies with me? No, so we can just take on our own, feel a little better. I'm just going to keep smooshing my stats into strength, and off we go. So hopefully we reach the end here. I'm not going to narrate through. Not really a reason to. And since we can't heal, thankfully we do have sailors, so I can do this. But where did I get that soft drink from? Anywho, we are on timeline B, so we need this torch to stay on our inventory. But yeah, you'll see things later on. Yeah, Gruesome Totem, funny enough. I could have got so normally for Eldritch Parasite runs, if you didn't know, if you're new to this channel, I like to just gamble on the History Club until I get 1 of 2 spells. Both of them being Mind Drain or Ghostly Spirit, or both, if I feel lucky. But you want one of them because of how efficient they are on an Eldritch Parasite run, because you have so many pretty much free casts of them. But things like this work out as well because, well, obviously my max stamina and max reason are like the 30s. So, oh no, my max stamina or max reason drop by 2 or 3. Doesn't matter because we have a whole bunch and we can't recover HP, so it's not like I could get it back up anyway. Let's gamble on the 50-50 here. If I miss both of these, sadness, but hey, got a cough. So yeah, all things considered, it would be nice if I could use all this Doom. I just noticed my Doom shot up by 2, and oh no, it should have. I'm at max threat level. Okay, yeah, everything's fine. Never mind. So it might sound okay. Let me just not fight this. By the way, I want to make sure I survive to Hiriko here. That's the last word or the name at the end of the mystery. That's why I'm calling it basically the character. If it sounds like I'm just saying the character's name, it's because that's the last word of the character of the mystery name, and I like to often call mysteries by the last word that they have. So botanist, eels, but I call Kana, cape, but I call Akamanto. Those are the exceptions, but here we have Herald hallucinations of Shizuhara Hiruko, and you might notice that the alliteration there, I should have actually gone through the text there, doesn't match, but bear with me, alright? I did my best. Now, I could probably think of something witty, but if you have something witty, then feel free to drop it, and I'll think about it at least. So really, the only thing I've changed are, aside from a few events, not this one, but is like one event-ish to get it closer to what I wanted, and then the next, and then pretty much the end of the mystery, which I'm going to purposely try and get ending A. Not that it's too hard. The enemy at the end, or the quote-unquote boss, is actually not the one I want. So we actually succeeded this, but yeah. Just testing to see. I think the only thing I changed is that I made a mistake. So when I was for a long while, I was like, Perm, what have you done? I'll mention something later on. I need to remember. But Perm plugin, what have you done? But it's actually just me misnaming my files. So I was like, it's fortunate that I didn't even just crash the game. So, oops, I was supposed to take reason. I'm going crazy. But basically, I had a linking error to the wrong graphic. I didn't make the graphic for this yet. So I'll just say, what is that? And fight. This was supposed to be kind of a mid enemy, but it's fine. Also, this is missing HP, so I would have one-shot this enemy anyway, but around this, if you take this mystery last, this enemy is supposed to have about 40 plus HP, 44 HP specifically, but so off we go. But as we get to the end here, so in particular, I should stop here, I might as well, is that the ending graphic, and I might just use this kind of background as a stock because I basically just put this back sprite in front. Yeah, obviously it looks different from what I showed you before, but I was having problems with linking because I misspelled the name, and I fixed my file names, and now everything works. So I didn't take ending B, but this is ending A, but ending B has basically the darker tone. And if you haven't seen it, you can see the previous episodes to see what it looked like that have this character and this mystery. Obviously, I changed the splash art as well, but the other part of this is that it's not perfect. I could put more time, but it'll serve its purpose. I think this might be final. I might make a few changes here, a few pixel changes, but for the most part, if you're curious as to how I did this, it's pretty much some modifications and some fusion of the back sprite and the house sprite, if it wasn't already apparent. And then I did some, size modifications, added pixels, made sure that the white pixels were proper, and it's supposed to be a back turn. It's supposed to be looking back at the viewer, but anywho. And you might notice the door looks a little familiar, but that's the intent moving forward with custom mysteries. Now, the other side of that I did want to make basically generalized versions of those mysteries with the character kind of providing a cameo. So we'll see what I do. But as we just walk up this lighthouse, not really much else to say. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, please let me know if you have any questions or if you want any help. I'll try my best, but I'm doing my own things right now, primarily game development. So again, at least working on World of Horror custom content at least keeps my brain juices flowing as I work on very, very small games. I know I'm juggling pretty much 3 games and really 2. One of them being Little Kitten, another being a kind of winter project that has we're still in winter, but I really should have gotten things done a lot sooner, but I'm trying my best because a lot of real life things are happening. ever since the end of 2025, even up till now. So I'm trying to just basically keep my balance as I continue running forward. But yeah, without further ado, not really much else to say. If you have anything to say, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, criticism, so on and so forth, you know what to do. Otherwise, I won't take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!